Hi everyone, I'm Thomas. Oh, thanks.
Sorry.
Hi everyone, I'm Thomas. I work as a front-end developer of my job, and at my leisure time, I try to build something that I may have some use every day. Right now I'm calling TTC bus ETA. I will explain why I call it like that, but I'm feeling this name might not be sticking around. But we'll get to that when I get to that. Okay, so why am I doing this? First of all, when I'm looking out for like bus arrival times, I don't really like the map. Like, well, almost everything that you use to look at like a bus time, you always get like a map view that take up like half or more of the screen. So it feels like vital screen spaces are getting lost to me. And also, loading a map takes time, and I just want to know if my bus is arriving, how long does it take, and also it feels, at least to me, it's cool to do free open source things to me. So hopefully it's cool for everyone else. And maybe one of the biggest motivation for me is I have used something similar in Hong Kong, and I'm trying to replicate my experience here to sort of like get something of similar path to here. So
before you get, can I ask you to turn on your camera, Thomas,
oh,
so folks can see you?
All right. Camera on. Right.
There we go.
All right. Cool. Okay. So basically, I'm trying to make this but Toronto. So okay, let's go into demo then. This is what I got right now. So let's talk about the bottom first. We got the lines here, like all the lines that I can find in the API. It's not everything. Like the subway lines are not here. Somehow the API doesn't include subways. But it got streetcars, it got buses, it even got some like 200 buses. They're like seasonal stuff. So it's neat. And then over here, you can see I got some bookmarks here. I got bookmarks saved. Right now, I don't know why, but it seems like 505, the streetcar is not reporting anything, right? Okay. Oh well. But if there's an arrival time coming up from the station, I can catch it from the API and just pump it into the front, like into the front page of it. And if you click on it, you'll see all the other times that it's usually like within the hour. So it's like within the hour or the next 4 buses coming up. So basically that's it. Okay, maybe one more view then. If you click on the numbers, you can get to see all the lines of the buses. You can check on like sometimes on the same stop you can get like other buses arrival times. So maybe you can pick and choose whichever bus suits your travel needs. Basically that's it. All right, let's go back to this. So this is right now very bare-bone. I just call the API, do some formatting, and then dump it straight into the UI. I get this from the Toronto Open Data website. Sort of looks like this, and it sort of looks like this in the backend. Try just do a little formatting, and then dump it back. So the things I learned is, first of all, the documentation is not too great. Turns out the company that provides all the next bus arrival times, they have changed companies, they have changed names, all the URIs have changed. So I have to sort of like give you some guesses to see what values are kept, what values are changed. But basically I can hack something out of it. Also, like what I've said, not everything is available from that sort of API. Like the station, like the subway arrival times are not there. Also, I think if you go into the TTC website right now, sometimes it will show you how crowded a bus is. I also can see that. And then the third thing is I'm trying to learn TypeScript with this. Needs some expert to me. Sometimes it's very useful. It helps you cut a lot of bugs, like when you're not expecting a string or an array. But other times it's really cumbersome. You have to state everything. And then where is also not great. I'm using Vue.js in my work, and it's like much easier. I have to think about all the effect changes or use effects. I can't remember now. Like I have to like handle all the state changes myself. There's no like easy to use reactive stuff for React, which is I'm probably not gonna use React next time I'm doing some like hobby project like this. Okay, so what I might do after this, I'm thinking of trying to add some data from IoT because I'm like near the border. So sometimes I like to catch a IoT bus and go somewhere new. I'm still looking at the documentation right now, but it seems kind of different. They're using GTFS, and I'm not too familiar with that. If you got a glimpse of that, you can see all the this is like a custom formatting. This is not a GTFS. But on the other hand, it feels like it's easier to use for me than GTFS. I don't have to worry too much about it. Everything is like labeled like almost properly. So also I probably want to clean up some more code, do some more data wrestling. Like you know, when you are like at subway station, you got like all the bus pay platforms. In the current set of APIs, they're all labeled as separate stations. So even though, for example, you're doing like Shepherd Young's bus platform, you might have like 3 buses. They will all label as separate buses. You won't know like if they're actually connected with each other. So I've like think about maybe I should make a little data set that helps us connect everything like this. And that's it.
Thomas. So we're now going to Q&A. So I guess we'll start taking questions from online.
Sorry, we weren't able to hear that very well.
Oops.
Oops.
Here, just okay. Okay. Yeah, so and just we can start taking one question from online, and then we can alternate in between.
Okay, so we have a question from Abdur. Please go ahead.
Hey, Thomas, good presentation. So I was just curious, how long did the whole project take? And did you use ChatGPT to help with any aspect of it?
I have to say I tried ChatGPT once or twice at work, but not on this. Because I started like before ChatGPT like publicly announced the Chat UI. I think I started like last year and then started chipping on it on and off because I got work, I got other stuff to do, and the page the thing you viewing right now, it kind of forms like this January or February, and then I start like doing some minor things here and there.
Thank you, Thomas. We'll take questions from the room if anyone has any.
I've got a question. Oh, can we? Thank you, Sam.
Oh, it's on your phone. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we just need to move. Yeah, there we go. I guess like I thought you brought up a lot of really good points about sort of the missing data, right? Like it would be nice to know subway times, you know, and I guess I'm curious, like what I want to know more about the crowding data. To look into sort of like why that's available in one place and not something that you're able to access through the API, because that feels like it would make a really nice change to the app. Like, hey, this bus is coming, but it's super crowded, and you can make your decision, you know, with that data.
Right now from the API menu, I'm not seeing anything like that. So I'm guessing there's like a few probabilities. Like first one is the API documentation is quite old already, so this is like all past tense stuff. So maybe the crowdness comes later than the API menu. So maybe we have the data right now, but not back then, so it's not like shared with everyone else. Yeah. Also, the second point is maybe that's not a publicly shareable data. They just have it within TTC cells. I have no idea.
We happen to know that if you bug the open data people, they will usually respond to you. So you should ask them for it.
Yeah, I tried to send an email like maybe half a year ago, and then that's it. Got nothing.
I got Matt's email if you need it.
Okay.
Okay. Any other question from online?
So anyone is welcome to put a Q in the chat. Maybe I'll ask a question. So thank you for the really cool project, Thomas. So you mentioned that you sort of struggled a bit with React, and that wasn't a technology that you really liked learning about. Is there something that was that you had like a positive experience learning that you were glad to have worked on this project?
Oh yeah, actually, like trying to handle all these like data wrangling stuff, it kind of helps me to like make things like in a more structured way. Because like before trying to do something like this, I don't think any of my stuff has any proper structure with it. So this is like doing this really helped me to like how to put things like in an organized way, how to like separate like UI and logic. I still got a long way to go, it feels like, but I'm getting there.
Awesome. Any questions from the room?
I'll ask a question and then a comment. Were you saying that the documentation on open data does not match the current version of the next vehicle of arrival system API? My comment is I know where the subway ETAs are.
All right. I don't know more about that. Bring it on.
That's like you should talk after.
Any other questions from online?
Doesn't look like there are further questions from online.
I have a question. Oh, sure. Are you gonna adding like the Go transit in the futures?
I think so, because like I think for FileT and Go Transit, they're supplying GTFS format data, which I haven't really learned how to use it yet. So I guess if I'm done with FileT, maybe I'll step into Go Transit. But it's not an urgent thing because I don't live near any Go Transit stations. So, yeah.
Makes sense.
So I really like the minimalistic approach you took, because you can totally imagine this app running on a I don't know, a watch or on a smart glasses, or just getting a text message with the data if you send the right thing to your backend. So what is I'm not familiar with the current popular TTC Arrival apps. how are they different? You mentioned the map feature that everybody focuses on a map, which just creates this visual clutter on the UI. But how do you compare your app maybe a bit more detailed to the current ones, and where do you see this going? Do you want people to actually use this? Like you want 1 million people each day to use your app? Would that be the goal?
At this point, it feels like how do I put it? The first thing I want to build is on the speed itself, because I open an app, searching for a line, like just clicking on a favorite. It takes time. It takes a few seconds for the map to load, and I want to put them on speed, but it also kind of like you have to make some compromise on it, because like without a map view, if you're not already familiar with the city transit itself, newcomers might not be very easy. Like they might not be able to recognize everything. So right now, my thought is this is for like a frequent user. So you know your stations already, you know your stops already, you know your lines already, but you just want to know when's the bus arriving, and I'm just pumping the data straight from the API call and try to minimize the overhead of it. Maybe sometime later, maybe I'll think about adding a map, but it's not on any immediate horizon right now. Maybe I'll do something with your current location, because like even though if you're not seeing the map, maybe I can find some way to come up the nearby stops for you. Then maybe it would be easier to use, but that's future. Yeah, that has to be often. I don't like to share my locations with it.
Any questions online?
Any more questions online? I don't.
No questions yet online.
So you made the program, right? What program language did you use? What program language? Python, R, what kind of language did you use?
This is pure front end right now, so it's pure TypeScript, and then some CSS, and then maybe a little GitHub stuff, but that's it.
Hi, question behind you. I'm curious if you are if you're running any kind of analytics on it, so you have a sense of like, I know it seems like you kind of mostly built it for yourself, but curious about how many other people are using it now, and if you have plans to try to promote it, or if you have like a target number of users you'd like to have use it.
Right now I don't have a target to say. Okay, so my plan was make a version 1 and then try to get people on board with it. But right now I'm stuck with finding a name for it. I don't have any good idea yet, so I'm stalling on it kind of. And sorry, what's the? Are you doing analytics? Oh, I put in some analytics, but because I haven't really promoted it yet, I only told my friends about it. So I haven't looked at any of it yet. Cool, thanks.
Oh, I'm gonna butt in with a question. How do I find my stop number?
Oh, maybe I should share my screen again. It will be easier to see this. Cool. Okay. So you see this. This is a stop number, and a funny thing from the API adventure I took in is usually, but not always, the next vehicle, like the black box on your bus stations, those stop numbers usually coincide with the API calls stop number. So in many times you can just key in the stock number and I can just show you straight where the arrival times and whatnot. But it isn't always working, so I might need to do something about it later.
I have like a very basic question for you, which is what is GTFS data? What does that mean? And also, like, do you have a sense of why the TTC data isn't in that format?
I have no idea. From what my limited exposure of it, it's something done by Google so that everything that comes into Google Maps came in with the same format. And then there's also like a two subset of the format. You got the static format with all the schedule, everything on static, and then you also got real-time data that's called like referring to the static data, but telling you like it's 2 minutes. It has a 2 minutes delay, or it's coming only 2 minutes, like that. And it looks like it needs some sort of like backend system to handle all the data processing stuff. So I haven't really figured it out yet. Like, do I really need to build a backend as a middleware for it, or can I do all the processing on the front end? But maybe it will take time. So it's still on planning stage right now.
Other questions? Okay. Could you share this one? Thank you.
Sorry, I think we were not able to hear you very well, Helena.
Oh, I was just talking very quietly.
Okay, maybe I'll ask another question. So in the, I guess, intro or abstract for the talk, it was mentioned that you had kind of an unconventional introduction to programming. Could you say something about that?
Sure, yeah. Because I felt like it wasn't really related to what I was doing, so I didn't put too much time on it. I didn't do programming at university. I mean, I sort of do it, but on my own, making websites, but that's pretty much it. And I basically learned almost everything from like free online courses, and then start doing like small stuff here and there. And to me, it feels like doing open source project is a really good way to open my eyes. And the one I showed you for like a few seconds, the Hong Kong version, I sort of like help add another feature on it. And it was like not really related to it. It was like where the warning signal, if we got a weather warning signal in Hong Kong, or the bus schedule might like become a mess. So if we see a signal is on, we'll know we might need to take extra caution on all the arrival times because they might be outdated or something. So it was a very interesting experience for me, and I also feel like from those kind of open source experience, I learned how to work with each other, like even remotely, like without ever saying a word. And also you get to see like lots of like, I wouldn't say like best practice, but better practice than your own, because like people have comments on your code.
Yes, talking more about this what you did in Hong Kong, kind of a similar thing.
I'm gonna get
So I guess like sort of more talking about like the similar project that you did in Hong Kong. I'm wondering if you can speak to like some of the similarities or differences in terms of like working with like the APIs for that project versus this one, like comparing sort of open data systems for like transit in two different places. If you can speak to that a little bit.
To be honest, I sort of glimpsed on the API calls. I didn't really go into it, but overall, I would say we are getting almost similar stuff from them. Like we are getting like from same stop, we are getting like the next 4 buses. In Hong Kong, we are getting the next 3, and in Hong Kong, there's like minor differences. Like if I'm asking for routes data, I can pull up like every stop on the routes. But here I had to like specify which stop and which routes. I mean, it's still doable, but it's like 1 to 2 more steps, but it's manageable. But in Hong Kong, we got like several different bus agencies, and I heard about them complaining like one of the biggest ones. They don't really want to follow everyone else's standards, so it was a headache for them. So it was a little like in Toronto, we only got like 1 agency because it's like a municipal thing. But then we also got like other municipalities next to us, and I haven't really explored their data yet. So yeah, I have to see.